Hello. How are we this evening? Fuck. Welcome to my movie review of Parasite. This is like the fucking third or fourth fucking time I've tried to fucking record this. Okay? Fuck me. And you have to mean a bastard and the fucking chase music's on in the background. Fuck me. Anyway, Parasite, made in the year, or directed, or fucking came out in the year of 2019, right? Directed by the one and only Bong Joon-ho, who's one of my fucking favourite directors. I fucking love him. Right? Anyway, um, it's the winner of fucking 4 Oscars, 2 BAFTAs. How do I know that? Because it fucking says it there, and I remember when it fucking came out, okay? Right. Anyway, so, plot of Parasite. You got this family. There's a son, daughter, kind of teenagers, pushing adulthood, mother and father. They live in a poor area in Korea where there's always crazy shit going on. The Wi-Fi is always shit. And when I say shit, I mean it's like fucking shit. Essentially, what ends up happening is the son's friend comes over and is like, "Yo, I'm talking. I tutored this girl. She needs help with like maths and other stuff, and I'm gonna be going away for a bit. I was wondering if you could tutor her for a while, and when I'm back, I want to ask her to be my girlfriend because he's in love with her, or is it marriage? It's one of them. Anyway, the guy's just like, yeah, sure. He's okay. He hesitates at first, but you know. But anyway, he essentially goes to the house, tells his parents, oh, goes to the house, and then sees that the house is really fucking nice. And I say really nice, I mean fucking really, really fucking nice, right? So what ends up happening then is he goes into the house, meets the father who's a fucking dickhead, the mother, the housemaid, the crazy son who's like shooting shit at him, and the daughter. And he starts shooting the daughter, goes back to the house every day, tells the family what's going on, and the younger son in that family, in the rich people family, is getting therapy or help with this woman because they feel like, oh, he's got issues or whatever. I can't remember if it's the sister or if it's someone else that does a therapy. Anyway, and as the movie goes on, he kind of falls in love with the daughter, or not falls in love with the kiss or whatever, and he's telling the parents about what's happening. He finds out that the maid has like an allergy to peaches, so he ends up going, or either a guy or the woman ends up going sprinkling stuff. He brings the father over. I think they sprinkle different things and he gets sick or whatever. Um, they end up needing, because they're, I guess, poor or whatever. They end up needing fucking they want to. They basically want to live the life that these people are in this gigantic house. So essentially, the mother ends up getting a job as the maid and getting the maid not fired, but the maid has to quit because she's sick. And the young guy, I think, watches the house, or no, the mother gets the job, then she watches the house and invites the rest of the family over, and they fucking have fun at the house. And while that ends up happening, the trip that the rich family are going on ends up getting cancelled, and they have to go home. And then it's stormy, and then just before it gets cancelled, the fucking maid knocks at the door, the previous maid, and finds out what's going on. She begs to basically come in. We find out there's another basement within a basement where she keeps her fucking crazy fucking husband. And essentially, she finds the rest of the family, threatens to blackmail them, and then the movie just gets fucking crazy from then on out. Eventually they all find out what happens. It gets fucking mad. More or less. But this movie, where do I even fucking start? This film. Oh, the complete unknown. Sorry, I'm playing Jack O'Gocus videos in the background. No, that's not the audio, by the way. Just Audio's turned down. Anyway, this movie's a fucking masterpiece. It really is a fucking masterpiece. Like, first of all, the cinematography. I love the cinematography in this movie. When he's walking into the new house, you see this garden and you see everything, and he's talking and she's being shown around, and he's just walking in or whatever. Um, sees the kid playing. He's just showing him around. Oh, here's this, that, and the other. You know, um, you get some great dialogue exchanges between him and the mother of the house. He meets the husband, is a fucking dick as they're walking. Then he meets the daughter, and they have good chemistry, and there's some lovely shots of the kitchen, the house. Then he, instantly meets the maid, and we're led to believe that this maid is lovely. She's like, "Oh, let me fix you something. Are you okay?" It's like, "Yeah, it's fine," So he meets her, and then you get the scenes of just great cinematography there, and then the son shooting the fucking toy arrows, and he's like, "Hey, stop it, stop it!" It's like he's kind of crazy. Don't let him scare you, and he kind of runs away or whatever. And the son is basically just being crazy. Um, just beautiful cinematography. You're getting to know all the characters in that one scene, and it's just fucking brilliantly done. Um, there's amazing scenes where you feel for the family. Like literally in the first scene, you get an amazing shot down, and the family's looking around, and you get a shot of the father, the mother, the sister, the brother. Yeah, everyone's got to be in a kid. Love her. No, sorry. You get this amazing scene where they're all like, "Oh, the Wi-Fi's not working. What do we do?" They're like, "Oh, how do we fix the Wi-Fi? Oh, the Wi-Fi's crap. Oh, do we have Wi-Fi? Oh, we have it. And you're following each of them, and the camera's kind of panning down. You're kind of following each of them, kind of walking around, their house, and you get a sense of what it's like, you know. And there's just many scenes where they're there, kind of like, and there's loads of dialogue exchanges with them in the house at that part, and then and 1 second, fucking hell. But anyway, sorry. As I was saying, like you get those great shots of the camera panning down, the family talking, kind of going, there's that kind of funny scene where like, who is that? And there's a guy kind of going, hello, hello, what's kind of being odd, like what the hell? And they're like, what's he want? Oh, it's like, oh, I think his house is being fumigated or something. They're like, oh, fumigation, ugh, whatever. You get those kind of fun dialogue exchanges when they're kind of on the ground looking up, and they see the guy. It's like, yeah, he's a bit strange or whatever. And then they kind of see this other strange guy who I think is there a guy that's like pissing on the streets at one point? I think there is, yeah. Um, you just have the great shot of the fucking family there talking to each other, person in the background or whatever, you know. Um, but each of the fucking characters, each of the family members are so fucking likable. The father's likable and funny. He's got some funny fucking moments in the movie, which I'll get to. Um, but like he's likable, caring family man. So is the mother. Um, well, mother, but they're definitely flawed. And then the brother and sister have a good relationship. You do have a lot of different scenes with their you know, kind of mirrored scenes where they're having dinner and they're coming in the house and they're like, oh, just do this, do that, and they're kind of, I guess, putting things around. I was trying to give A24 on this. Sorry. They're kind of just going around different places of the house, and just brilliant, beautiful shots of the camera panning, and you get kind of funny dialogue and different dialogue exchanges and stuff. That's like great, and they're just doing household activities, and you get a sense in each of the scenes how poor they're feeling. They are, I guess. You also have moments where they come back, where he comes back from visiting the house or whatever, and he's just like, oh yeah, they have this, they have that, they have this, they have that, and it's like, oh, how about we do this, and they have the great exchanges of, oh, how they're gonna do the plan. They have great moments where they're sitting around the table just talking normally like a family, but then they have ideas of like how they're gonna execute this plan. You get this fucking great montage sequence of just going around in the house and like putting fucking bits of peaches on the girl, the housemaid's thing, and she starts coughing. They're like, "What's wrong with you?" And she keeps like, all these fucking things keep happening where she keeps getting sick and feeling bad, and she eventually has to resign. And then that's when the mother steps in and goes to the house and is shown around, meets the son, and you get the two mothers talking, and you get this great dialogue exchange, especially even with the cameras panning, and the mother meeting the other husband who's an asshole, and she gets hired as a maid. So then she goes home. It's like, oh, I got the job, or whatever. And you're just kind of like, they're likable characters, but they're kind of terrible people. But they do give them a reason for it because their life, their living conditions aren't great. There's another part where I think like a water bursts and the house starts flooding up the poor house, and they're like, "Come on, what do we do?" And they're trying to figure out like how the hell to get out of there, and it's water's rising up, which is a great fucking scene, and I love all those scenes like that, and I love the scenes where they're just sitting down at the table having a discussion. You get amazing moments like that. Um, there's a great moment where uh I gotta okay, I think it was a fire. Anyway, so get great moments like that. There's like amazing sequences. I love how the family bounces off each other. The mother and father, father and son, all of them. How they bounce off each other, even the brother and sister having great chemistry. You know, when they go into the house, when the house is free, there's a great scene where they're all just talking to each other. And it goes on for quite a while. And it's like that little hangout vibe, but you get some really nice shots of the family talking. They're having wine. Like, oh, do you want to eat this? Yeah. Oh, do you want to drink wine? They're just laughing, talking, saying, oh, it'd be great if we actually lived here, wouldn't it? It's like, yeah, well, we do for now. And it's a scene where they're talking for quite a while. And it's like, it's just great, you know. Um, but you get some great dialogue, great shots in that scene. It goes on for like quite a while. You actually do have them all, talking to each other for quite a bit. But like the dialogue is really well written. There's some great witty dialogue. Each character has great development. They're talking about the girl, oh, do you like her? And they're kind of like there's good banter between the characters. Like, oh, do you like this girl? And he's like, no, of course not. Yeah, whatever. I can't remember if he actually tells her, oh yeah, I like her or whatever. Or whatever, and then he's even like texting her as well. And everything is kind of going good. They're laughing, but there's also a great shot outside of the fucking storm and it raining, and then it gets really, really suspenseful within seconds. Within like you have a long dialogue of them talking, but then you get a knock at the door, and they're like, "Don't answer it! Don't answer it!" At first they get a phone call. It's like, "Oh, it's fine. Yeah, it's all going good." Then the door knocks, and they're knocking and knocking and knocking, and they're like, "Don't answer it." And then there's that kind of suspense feeling and the music, and you're like, "Oh shit, what's happening?" And they're getting up like, "No, don't answer it." And just the way that scene is set up with the camera, dialogue, writing, it's just fucking excellent. And the suspense, it's just enjoyable overall, really. And they just get up and they're walking over to the door and they're knocking. It's like, who is it? And then they start ringing the doorbell. Like, oh my god, who the hell is that? They're not stopping. Um, it's just like, oh fuck. Um, you know, and essentially, it's the fucking maid. I'm like, oh my god, it's the old maid. What do we do? Like, I don't know. So it adds a bit of, oh shit, how the fuck are they gonna get out of this situation? Because although these characters are doing horrible things, it's so well written to the point where you still care about them. So it's a suspenseful scene, but it's also kind of funny as well. They're like, let me in. Hi, you must be the new owner. I'm the previous owner. Or I'm the no, not owner, sorry. I'm the housemaid. You must be the old housemaid. I'm the new housemaid or whatever. Um, and it's just kind of like, oh shit. So they're like, let me in. It's like, I don't know if I can. It's like, oh no, please let me in. They're kind of at each other. So the rest of the family have to run and hide. And it's just like, oh fuck. So it's so fun. And then they let her in. She lets her in. And then they're just talking, getting to know each other. And you get great dialogue exchanges between the two of them. Like, oh, I'm so sorry to disturb you. I had to leave because I was sick. But oh, it seems like you're doing it well. It's like, oh, please, I need help. I need you to help me with something, blah, 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 whatever. Just please let me in. And she just kind of barges in, like, please, please let me in. She's like, well, hold on, you can't be in here, you know. And they're just kind of talking and arguing. And then you're cutting to the family hiding behind different places. And then even, like, you know, just talking to her, like, stop that, you know. Um, and just different moments like that. But the shots are great. And then you're kind of like, oh, how do I get out of here? And then they're kind of like, looking around like fuck do we do, you know. And like even the music and the storm and rain adds to the fucking atmosphere of the scene. um you know, and you're there like as a viewer. I was watching it here, I was just like, oh fuck, how are they gonna get out of this? Like, how are they gonna get out of this one? Anyway, I don't know. So they're just at each other, and then she fucking goes and then runs to this place, opens the door, runs down. She's like, "What are you doing?" You know, and then runs. She's like, "Come on, can I?" Oh no, she goes, "Can I follow you? Can I just go down to the basement to get something?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, sure." She's like, okay, go ahead." It's like, "Okay, you go first." They open the door, turn the light on. She runs down the fucking basement, and they're like, "What's happening?" They open the other basement, and they're like, runs down, and she's like, "Oh my love, my love," and then it's revealed there's a fucking other husband. Her husband's living down there in a basement within a basement, and you're just thinking, fucking hell, that is such a great idea. It's so original and it's so bizarre, but amazing. It's just so fucking amazingly done, and they're all kind of looking down, running down, going, "What the hell?" And she's like, "Please, you can't tell anyone about this, please, please." Like, why not? My husband, he's been sick for days, and all this stuff is happening, and you know the dialogue is going on, the scene is just going on for a while, and you know you do buy that the husband and wife, the maid, love each other, you know, and they're talking or whatever, and then the scene goes on for a while, but like you're instantly gripped straight away, and then you have the family in the background, and then the maid gets on the ground and is like, please, please, please don't tell them, and she's like, no, no, I don't know if I should or not, and then they fall. One of them falls over, and the whole family. And it's like, oh my god, or whatever. You know what I mean? And then automatically the maid turns on them and goes, "How about I tell on you now?" And they're like, "Oh no, please." You said, and it's so funny because the dialogue. She says something like, "Oh, you're a great person. You're a great person. Um, you're doing the job so well." I think she says something. She says, "Oh, you're a great person. You do your job so well." And she's like, "Yeah, whatever. Shut up, bitch." You know. So it's just funny, and they're fucking arguing, and like, what if I tell them? Like, no, 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 no. And then she starts filming them with her phone. It's like, no, I'll tell them. I'll tell them. And they're like, no, 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 please don't. And the guy's like, I will, yeah, I will. And this night tends to get more crazy. The husband gets very threatening. It's just a crazy fucker. So they all run back upstairs, and I think she just runs after them. And then she's like, okay, stand over there. You do this. You do that. You do this. You do that. Blah, blah, blah. Do this in this position. Do this in that position. Shut up. Shut up, or I'll send it. I'll send it. Shut up, or I'll send it. You do that. And you're just like, oh, fuck. So, right then, the suspense in that scene is great. But it's also funny at the same time. There's good mixture of comedy and drama, which I love about this movie. Um, and dark comedy as well. You could definitely class this as a dark comedy. But the writing's great. Like, don't you dare do that. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I'm gonna go. And then she's just like, don't do anything. Whatever. And then just as you think, it's like, okay, answer that, answer that. So then the phone rings or whatever. And just as you think things are gonna get better, I'm gonna be okay, you know, out of nowhere, out of nowhere, the phone fucking rings. The phone rings, and the family's like, "Yeah, we're on our way home. Son is feeling sick." They're like, "Where is he?" It's like, "We'll be where." They're like, "Whereabouts are you now?" And they're like, "Oh, we're 8 minutes away from the house." They're like, "Okay, they're on their way home." Um, and that scene is like, "Oh shit!" So they have to deal with this woman, deal with this crazy fucker in the basement, and then deal with the family coming home. So they come home, they're running away, you know, and then they're trying to hide again, and you even have a part where he's hiding under the table and he's texting the girl, about it and or whatever. No, the girl and the whole family basically come home, um, and they're sitting there, and the only one that's not really able to fucking that's not actually able to doesn't have to hide is the mother, because she's obviously the new maid of the house. Um, so you get an amazing moment where she's just talking to her in the kitchen, and they hear noises in the basement, and the guy's down there, and then they have the family hiding. The guy is hiding under the table and texting the woman. The kid's outside, and they're like, "Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And the mother and father go out, and she's like, "Oh, he's being weird again," and he's just texting underneath the table while she's up there, and he's like, "Oh, it'll be fine." So then, like, you get a suspenseful scene, a great dialogue exchange between the mother and um the two mothers in the kitchen, essentially. And then the kid goes, he's like, "Oh, he's outside camping. He wants to go outside camping because the kid has like issues or whatever." And you get an amazing moment where he's out camping in the tent and it's raining, and then the father's like, "Oh, we'll just stay up and watch him or whatever." It's like, "Oh, we'll get some sleep here. We'll just stay up and watch him." So the father and the mother are there talking to each other, you know, and it's kind of a very funny scene, because it's like entertaining. They're like, "What?" It's suspenseful because it's cutting down. You have the other father looking under the table like, "The fuck is going on?" But you also have um that scene where essentially they're like, "Oh, what's that smell, Mister Something, Mister Ping? Is it Mister Ping smell?" No, that Mister Ping that's not his name, is it? Mister whatever smell. Um, so essentially, um, he's under the fucking table, and they're like, "Oh, it's been so long," and he starts like massaging her nipple or whatever. It's like, "Oh, we can't do it here." It's like, "No, look, we'll look at the window. We'll see. We'll know when he's coming." So then you get a really awkward fucking scene where they're under the fucking table, and he's just there massaging her fucking nipple. She's putting her hands in the pants, and they're just like, "Oh, basically they're jerking each other off, they're fucking each other, whatever. They're being sexual on the couch. Eventually they fall asleep. Guy's just like, "Oh shit," and he gets up, like, "Are they asleep? Okay," and he runs out, and it adds to that suspense aspect. But the whole scene in that second half of the film is fantastic. It's just really well directed, really well acted, really well fucking edited, visually nice to look at. The aesthetic of the entire movie, of the city, of the shots at the beginning, in Korea and on the streets, the shots in the house are fantastic. The way the camera moves around at the beginning and in the house. There's loads of scenes of them near the start and throughout the film of them eating at the table, or them just in their house talking or like doing day to day tasks, and you get a sense of how poor they are. And it's so well done, and it grips you straight away. Um, you know, it's very, very funny as well. I love the scenes where you know the son meets the daughter for the first time. Like, that's great. He's being shown around the house. Um, he sees the lawn. He's like, "Whoa, that's big." Um, he meets the fucking maid who you think is gonna be a lovely woman, and she's like, "Oh, can I fix you something?" And then you have him and the girl, talking, and he's helping her out in her room, and he's helping her out with other stuff, with the homework and all this other shit. And they're just getting to know each other talking. And like, you're getting into the relationship. And like, even though you kind of know that's going to come in the film near the start, you're like, maybe he deserves it because, he's a poor guy. He might need something good. Um, but you get great scenes between them. It's like, oh, he has issues, or my brother has issues, or whatever. And even like you see how caring she is because he's like shooting arrows and stuff, and he's like, "This is my brother. He's crazy." And it's like, "Whoa," It's like, "Hey, calm down. Sorry, my brother's insane." Um, and you do get a sense of their family life as well, and that it's not perfect. Um, you get the scene as well. I think the mother's walking up the stairs. Great shots. This painting has meaning as well. There's a great moment where the doctor's going in to talk to. He's like, "Oh, you must be the tutor to help with the son." It's like, "Oh yeah, yeah." So she goes in, she's helping with the kid. Then there's a great scene where there's multiple scenes of her helping the kid, and it kind of mirrors like because there's also multiple scenes of the son helping the daughter. They're helping. He's helping her throughout the film. They're getting to know each other, going on walks. They're just getting to know each other, sitting down. There's even a great scene where the two of them are talking, and then they start kissing, making out. And every time she talks about them, she's happy. You know, you see the son meeting the great scene where the son meets the family of the father, and the father's always been a dick. And the father's like always like saying to you, do your homework, whatever. Come on, you get scenes where he's talking to the son and daughter, but it's not like the rich father is talking to son and daughter, but he's not as loving, I guess, as this father. Um, you know, um, but yeah, you get amazing moments like that throughout the film, and I love it. I love it for that. Um, and interesting moments, and I liked the kiss scene between the son and daughter. Obviously in two different families. It was a bittersweet, nice scene. Um, and then I love the part, where she's the different scenes where she's assessing the kid throughout the film, and then the mother and that woman basically have a conversation in the kitchen saying that painting, what's that painting? Oh, he drew that. It's like, yeah. And the fact he's like, I feel like my son might have problems or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I think he does. That painting's a sign of this, and she's like, oh my god, is it? Oh, that's horrible. It's a sign of that, but it's delivered so well that it makes it funny. And that scene goes on for a while as well, but it's just really really funny, that line delivery and the painting, and then you see shots of the painting throughout the film, and that obviously comes back to later because when the two mothers are talking in the kitchen, she's like, oh yeah, she mentioned this. That might be like an emotional problem that my son is having or whatever. But yeah, but yeah, act like you own the place. I never actually noticed that, but I love that. I love the moment where the father comes downstairs into the basement and the guy tries to attack him, and you get this like shot where he's kind of running away and he's trying to fucking attack the son. And there is a scene, yeah, when they're hiding away, the guy goes to fucking attack them and he has to fight them off and all this other crazy shit. But then he goes back to the house and he has to fight him off or whatever. And then there's a part where he's like hiding and you get this beautiful shot of him looking up the stairs and looking to see if anyone's there. And he's running down, and then they're fighting or whatever. And yeah, and he tries to attack him. Then they're fighting to a point he knocks him out or whatever. And you have this whole he knocks him out, and I think almost kills him. And then there's a funny scene, yeah, where the maid and the husband are running, and then they get pushed down the stairs and get knocked out, which is why you don't necessarily hear straight away that the essentially that the mother that's why the maid doesn't go up to the mother. They're like, just stop it, and then I think they're like, oh my god, you accidentally killed her when she falls down, which I just think is a fucking hilarious scene. But that scene where they're fighting them is fucking cool as shit. Um, and then you like, the whole scene where like essentially, the family are there, um, acting like they own the place, going up the stairs, going down the stairs, um, whatever. Um, and then you have the moment where the two fathers meet and they're talking, and then you have a moment where there's like a big party that they're organizing a big party. He's like, oh, can he come? He's like, oh yeah. So they have this gigantic party, and the two fathers are talking about something, and then out of nowhere it gets insane. Like this finale gets insane, and it's fucking fantastic. It's funny, it's dark, it's excellent, and it makes you care. And you do see the darker sides of the characters. Um, so essentially, the husband comes out of nowhere, beats the shit out of the guy, fucking throws him down. Party gets insane, and people start getting fucking smacked around and fucking murdered. Basically, he comes and beats the shit out of a guy, even smacks the fucking son and hits him to the point where he's bleeding. And then they're like, "What the hell?" And then the father sees it, sees that something has happened to his son. His daughter gets knocked out. He's like, "Oh my god!" And, he's worried that she's dead. Then he sees the son, and he looks up and you get the shot of, oh my god, he's dead. Like, you know what I mean? So then it gets crazy and there's people getting fucking hit, and some people do die. I believe the fucking husband dies, the husband of the maid. It's fucking killed, and there's people dying and bloodshed everywhere, just insane. But then it all goes well. You do get a great montage of the father living um in the house, I think, while they do. And he's like, "Oh, I went up every day," and he kind of walks up and he's grabbing stuff in the kitchen, and it's like, I love that. It's like, oh shit, it was a risk, but I'd have to like, I risk my life every day to go to the fridge, and he's walking up out of the basement just to go to the fridge because the family have moved out and a new family has moved in, essentially. So he's doing that. So it's like that kind of risk, but he lives in the basement, and I think he gets out, and then eventually they go to the hospital and they see the son has a bandage on his head and it's all okay. Um, but it's just excellent. I also love the scene where the son and his friend are talking, and I just get really nice shots of Korea and really beautiful city shots and just shots of Korea, and they're just talking of, oh, I really like this girl. Can you shoot her? Or I want to marry her. I want to be with her. It's like, yeah, yeah, sure. And they're just talking, a great dialogue exchange, and you're kind of thinking, oh, is he gonna fucking try get with her? But the more I think about it, I'm like, you know what? It's good that he tries to, because you do feel bad for the family, although their actions are not good. You feel bad for the fucking family throughout the movie, because they're essentially living in poverty. Is it poverty here? Um, so yeah, and the movie's insane. It gets crazy. Um, I do love the part in the taxi where him and the father and the taxi driver are talking and saying, "Oh, I had to let go of my fucking housekeeper," which is a shame. I also love the part where he's like, "Come on, I'll bring you home to the girl," and they're in the car and he's kind of driving her home and they're talking. He's kind of being a bit flirtatious or a bit weird. Just shows how much of an asshole the character is. But yeah, what else can I say? This movie's a masterpiece. It's beautifully shot. Every single scene is amazing. The editing is fucking smooth. There was an on-set editor for the fucking movie. The acting is unbelievable in the dramatic scenes, the comedy scenes. It balances uh comedy, drama, and just darkness well. Like, it's a dark comedy. It's a very original idea for a movie. Also, in case you didn't know, it is subtitled, and obviously I watched it in its original language. Um, it's a Korean movie, and it's fucking fantastic. Amazing visuals, amazing aesthetic, beautifully directed, brilliantly written, brilliantly acted. Characters have great chemistry. There's amazing editing, cinematography, camera work, direction, all of it. It's a fantastic movie, and I give it a 10 out of 10. That was my movie review of Parasite. I'll see you guys later. Bye.